Imagine the quiet, not the quiet of peace, but the kind that drops when a power dynamic shifts, when the dismissed, the underestimated finally speaks. That moment when the room goes silent, a boarding gate holds its breath, a bank lobby freezes. You felt that tension, right? The indignity, the rage that wants to burst. But what if you could channel it? What if, instead of fear, you brought clarity? Instead of shouting, you had dignity? Because dignity isn't just a feeling, it's a strategy. It's the best justice tool. And it has no shouting. You've probably been there. Maybe it was at a boarding gate, a bank lobby, or in a restaurant you'd saved for. You're told, "We're full." That's not policy. "We can't serve you." You see the lie in their eyes, the dismissive wave. The common mistake, arguing, pleading, or worse, internalizing it and walking away, defeated, accepting their lie as your truth. I've seen it too. That burning shame, that feeling of invisibility. But what if one calm voice, a single policy line, a witness hitting record, or a manager reading the rule could flip everything? What if just three words could freeze a racist policy? What if a quiet step could genuinely flip a multi-million-dollar deal? Let's talk about Anya, a sharp, elegant woman. She walked into the Gilded Spoon, a Michelin-starred restaurant, for a late dinner. Reservation confirmed. Business casual attire perfect for the high-end establishment. The maitre d', a man in a crisp, dark suit, barely met her eyes. His gaze skimmed her, then settled on his reservations book with a performative flourish. "Ah, yes," he said, looking up with a dismissive half-smile, a practiced air of regret. "I'm afraid we're fully booked tonight. An unexpected rush, you understand." His tone carried a note of finality, designed to brook no argument. Anya looked around. Half the tables were conspicuously empty, white linen, gleaming silverware, waiting for phantom guests. She had even noticed from the street that others, not like her, were being seated immediately, without reservations, just moments before she entered. The lie was palpable. The bias was a familiar, unwelcome sting. Her stomach tightened, a knot of indignation. This wasn't her first time. But today, she wasn't just a customer. Today, she had a different purpose. She felt the familiar urge to argue, to plead her case, but she steadied herself. Less panic, more proof, more power. Instead of arguing, she took a calm breath. Her posture remained tall, her voice low and even, her eyes steady. "I understand," she said, her tone level, not accusing. "Could you clarify your booking policy for me? I have a confirmed reservation, and I do observe several open tables. Is there a specific protocol for last-minute cancellations or for walk-ins that I might not be aware of?" She maintained her calm, professional demeanor. The maitre d' stiffened, his professional veneer cracking ever so slightly. He clearly hadn't expected the question. "Our policy is clear, madam. We are booked. Perhaps another evening?" He then turned with exaggerated politeness to seat a white couple who had just walked in without a word, directing them to one of the unavailable tables. Anya felt the familiar hot flush of indignation, but she remembered her prep. She knew that the sentence that stops the room wasn't always a shout. It was often a question backed by quiet confidence. "I appreciate your suggestion," Anya continued, unwavering, her gaze following the couple to their table. "However, I would still like to speak with the manager regarding this discrepancy, and if possible, receive a copy of your restaurant's seating policy." She subtly tapped her phone, just enough for him to notice. Silence is evidence. Record. Report. She wasn't recording yet, but she was ready. She had her neutral phrase ready, a shield against his dismissiveness. The maitre d' scoffed. a barely perceptible flick of his wrist. He was used to people backing down. There's no discrepancy. I am the manager, and I've explained the policy. He clearly thought his word was the policy, that his ego was the final rule. He was about to learn that policy beats ego every single time. Anya's eyes met his, holding his gaze. It was a quiet courtroom moment, the kind where everyone waits for the verdict. She took a slow, deliberate breath. I see, she said, her voice now even softer, yet with an edge that cut through the polite veneer. A shift in authority that was almost imperceptible until it landed. Then perhaps you would be interested to know that as of this morning, the Gilded Spoon, along with the entire Cuisine Collective restaurant group, is now under the acquisition of Global Hospitality Holdings. And she reached into her sleek designer purse, pulling out a polished metallic business card, placing it calmly on the host stand, face up. I'm Anya Sharma, Head of Hospitality Acquisitions. My first official act? A discreet, unannounced audit of our new properties, focusing on customer experience and operational integrity. She paused, letting the words hang in the air, letting the metallic gleam of her card sink in. The day the badge flipped, or in this case, the business card. The maitre d' went utterly, breathtakingly pale. His eyes darted to the card, then to her face, a mask of dawning horror replacing his earlier arrogance. The restaurant lobby, once bustling with quiet chatter, seemed to hold its breath. Even the couple he had just seated seemed to freeze, forks mid-air. The card shone under the dim, elegant lighting, reflecting his sudden panic. His name was clearly visible, printed beneath hers. His jaw worked, trying to form words, but none came. Big deal, bigger dignity. The silence was heavy, thick with the weight of consequence. I apologize, Ms. Sharma. I wasn't aware, stammered, sweat beading on his forehead. Please, allow me to escort you to the best table immediately. Anya shook her head gently, a movement of quiet power. No, thank you. My reservation was for a specific table, one I've now observed being offered to others who arrived after me without a reservation. Your actions, and indeed your policy, or rather your interpretation of it, have spoken volumes about the integrity of this establishment. She looked directly at him, her gaze unwavering. You've just given me the proof that ends the excuse for operational oversight, and the bias that costs not just this restaurant, but our entire new portfolio, untold millions in trust and reputation. The shame on his face was clear, but it was too late. Within 24 hours, accountability in a hotel lobby, not just a restaurant. The maitre d' was immediately suspended, pending a full investigation. Anya's initial interaction, fueled by calm courage and policy knowledge, didn't just save her dinner. It instigated systemic change. A public apology was issued to Anya and published on the Global Hospitality Holdings Group's website, detailing a new commitment to diversity and inclusion training, mandatory for all staff across all acquired properties. Compliance fixes were mandated, ensuring that prejudice would have no place in their new brand. 3 calm steps, 1 loud result. This kind of shift doesn't happen by accident. It starts with preparation. I call it your 10-minute justice prep. Find a quiet spot. Take a few centered breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel your feet on the ground. Posture tall, shoulders back. Your voice low, steady, not weak, not aggressive. Ready. Open a note on your phone. Have a neutral phrase. Ready. I'd like to speak to a supervisor and receive a copy of the policy. Have your camera ready to record, if it's safe and legal in your jurisdiction. Note the time, date, and exact location. Who's speaking? their role, their name if you can get it. What are they saying? What are you observing? This isn't about being an investigator. It's about being a witness. Your own witness. Feeling anxious. Acknowledge it. Let it pass. Focus on clarity. The benefit? Safety. Clarity. Leverage. Because allies in the room change outcomes. And sometimes your best ally is your own preparedness and the policy itself. Always respect your limits. Avoid physical confrontation. Your documentation and calm escalation are your power. Laws and policies vary by place. Adapt. If you're in danger, prioritize safety and seek immediate help. You have more power than you think. Your calm courage, backed by knowledge, can turn the tide. You don't have to carry that burden alone or in silence. Choose one action today. Save policy numbers for places you frequent. Set a phone shortcut to your camera. Learn one calm, neutral phrase. Practice your 10-minute justice prep. Let's make dignity a visible force every single day. What action will you start today? And what's the next scenario you want us to tackle?